6 dark psychology techniques to skyrocket your sales. Why do some businesses skyrocket
and other businesses struggle? Discover the dark psychology behind sales tactics that most companies don't want you to know. These strategies drive 80% of results with just 20% of the effort. Now, I'm 100% sure you've never seen anything on YouTube like this before. Missing these small shifts may lead to regret, so you don't want to miss out. The 20% of sales effort that will drive 80% of your results? Stay tuned as I'm going to go over those techniques in this video. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe, ring the bell, and stick around, comment. It's a community here. But first, let me introduce myself. I'm Celeste Burke-Nicely, a certified gap selling training partner and sales trainer, and I have over 2 decades of sales experience. Tactic number 1, give your prospect fewer options. Now, this may sound counterintuitive, but studies have shown that when you give prospects too many choices, they actually get decision paralysis. This means that prospects get completely overwhelmed, so they choose to do nothing. We call it inaction or the status quo when they stay the same. Now imagine you walk into an ice cream shop. You're there to buy ice cream, you're hungry, and you see 30 flavors. Quite often, you have decision paralysis as a buyer because there are just too many options to choose from. Now imagine you walk into the ice cream shop next door and there are only 5 options to choose from. It's narrowed down. It makes it a lot easier as a buyer to not have decision paralysis. So how do you reduce the options in sales? You get really specific on what you're offering. You don't offer the gamut. You offer a tight-knit group of products or services to start. This could be 2 or 3 products or services, but you make it very narrow so that you can make a problem-product correlation. When a prospect has a huge pick list to choose from, and you as the seller offer way too many options, things get muddy and usually it doesn't lead to a sale. As a seller, it's your job to make a best recommendation to a prospect to guide them along that journey. When you simplify the choices for your prospect, you help to make decisions a little bit easier on their end. They no longer have decision paralysis. Tactic number 2, show off your credibility. Here's why showing off your credibility matters. People buy from people they find credible. Studies show that companies that position themselves as credible and industry experts have a 35% faster growth rate than their competitors. So how do you show your credibility and your expertise? Here are 3 ways. 1, share. 2, show. 3, tell. Share the proof of your results. You can use client testimonials, before and after, case studies, or share a client's journey with a problem they were experiencing that you helped them with. You can show recognition, certifications, awards, or big collaborations with brands. Educating your customers goes a long way. There's blogs, case studies, free reports, anything that you can share on your website and through content that tells them about what it's like to work with you so that you make their problems disappear. Successful businesses that are able to show, share, and tell in a way that connects with their buyer have a 35% faster growth rate than competitors that don't. Tactic number 3, create FOMO. FOMO, it's the fear of missing out. Why is it that so many brands use tactics such as urgency, you're going to miss out, a limited time deal? It is to create something in the buyer that compels them to take action. They self-select that they have a problem and you've presented them with a one-time only or something that's limited, so they feel compelled to drive urgency to make a change. Customers often feel like if they miss out on an opportunity, it may not come back around. That is what we call creating FOMO, the fear of missing out. FOMO should be aligned to your prospect's problem. The bigger the problem, typically the larger the impact if they don't solve it right now. You can create FOMO by talking about that impact and what happens if the buyer or the prospect doesn't make a change right now. For those selling a product or a service, they often use things like only 3 spots left, a limited time deal, only a few things remain at this price point. It's because that company has done enough research and has nurtured the prospect that the prospect self-identifies that they have that problem and that they have a huge impact and are willing to buy right now. You often see this with a product where there may be a timer or a countdown, creating that urgency to buy now. This happens a lot with transactional selling or low ticket offers. There is a time limit on that offer. Look around. If your competitors are creating FOMO and you are not, you are most likely missing sales that they are gobbling up. Look at how you can create FOMO in your business to create that urgency for your customer that's experiencing a problem that you uniquely help with. Tactic 4, mastering the art of storytelling. Imagine this. You're a business owner who's facing slow sales. You're struggling to understand why all the things that you're doing aren't creating the revenue and the outcome that you expected. The way to overcome this is actually a shift in your perspective. Instead of focusing on your products or service, you want to focus on your customer's journey. And how do you share through storytelling that you solve the unique problems that they have? You can do this by showing them who you are, what you stand for, how you uniquely solve the problems that they're experiencing, and you make that really bad stuff go away. You do this through sharing stories of others, so customers and prospects can relate to the problems that others had and they can see themselves in their shoes. It's this fine balance of connecting on a personal level, establishing that credibility, but telling a story that your prospect can relate to. They also want that outcome, and they are able to see how you've built that credibility by delivering that outcome for somebody else. Businesses that are able to create stories that connect their prospects to their product and to the outcomes that prospects want often see their business have higher engagement, lower churn, and greater customer satisfaction. Tactic number 5, the principle of reciprocity. Reciprocity is the most influential factor in decision making. The definition of reciprocity is people tend to respond to a positive action with another positive action in return. This is actually a psychological trigger that businesses have been using for decades to elicit a response. In fact, 75% of customers say they're more likely to buy from a company that gives them value up front. But what does value look like in your practice? In your business, value could be something as simple as showing them the behind the scenes of what their day-to-day is going to look like once their problem is solved. Value could be partnering them up with a current customer who's able to share the day in and the day out of what it's like working with you and how your product or service made their problem go away. Value may be providing a free trial before they buy so they can take it for what we call a test drive. They're able to place themselves in your world to see how your product actually solves their problem. The key is to give without an immediate expectation. When you provide value and you don't attach to the outcome and you don't expect something immediately, a customer sees you as credible and is more likely to do business with you because you understand their world. Tactic number 6, the halo effect. What is the halo effect? It's one positive trait or impression that influences how people perceive everything else about a person, product, or a brand. That's how the halo effect works. When customers perceive one aspect about your business positively, it usually cascades and they view everything in your business as positive. It's so simple. One act, one positive experience makes everything else seem possible and positive. Now, why does the halo effect work in sales? First impressions set the tone. This could be your website, this could be an interaction, this could be your salesperson, this could be the first conversation. That first intro to your brand, your products, your people often set the tone and give the halo effect. One bad impression and the customer has a negative thought, halo effect, about your whole entire company, which may not even be true. When customers start associating one positive thing in your business, they start associating that with everything in the brand, which makes first impressions so critical and crucial. Trust and social proof. This goes back to that credibility piece. You have to have other customer testimonials that show credibility and the value that you have provided. When other customers or prospects see what other people have experienced, it often creates the halo effect. They start to see in totality how your business can help them in a positive way. Brand association. Most of you may know Tesla and Apple. They do brand association so well. They have such innovative products that when they launch a new product, we as customers already have a perception about the product and automatically think that the next product is going to be up to that standard. That is brand association and a great example of the halo effect. So how can you use the halo effect? It starts at every instance a customer would have interacting with your brand, your people, your website, your assets. Take a look through a prospect's lens to see, are they having the halo effect with first interaction, or do we have areas where we need to improve in order to create the halo effect? What's one thing you do to make a lasting impression with your customers or prospects? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it helpful, like and subscribe, and feel free to share it with someone who needs it. We'll see you on the next video.